Wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. 2015 Mines and Money London, and we are here at the booth of Eurasian Minerals, and with me here is Schaffalitzky, and he is the managing director of the company. First time on our channels.
Thank you very much.
Can you give us a brief overview about your company?
Certainly.
What are you doing? Where are you based? Where are you working?
Eurasia is working completely in Russia. We've been there since 2000, exploring for platinum group metals. We've made 4 discoveries to date. We've had quite a good time there. And one of our first projects is now getting ready for development. We hope to start production in July next year.
Perfect. Well, when I hear Russia, before we dive into the project, but this rings a little bit of a bell. As you know, I'm German, and there are some restrictions with Russia. How is it these days to work there?
It's actually exactly the same as it was before, because of course Russia is a country with a lot of mining experience, and our first project, which is an alluvial platinum project in the Urals, the expertise in Russia is second to none. And all the equipment, all the labor, all the expertise will be sourced in Russia. So where anything to do with sanctions doesn't affect us. Okay,
let's talk about your project, which is now in the development phase and which should be the next mine. When is it? Next year, maybe?
July, hopefully, yes.
Wow,
if all goes to plan.
Okay, how large is the project? How many resources, reserves do you have in?
It's an unusual project because it's alluvial platinum, and in the West that's rarely done. For geological reasons, but also for organizational reasons. Russia has always had a lively, active alluvial mining business, and alluvial platinum has been active in the Urals since 1780. So it's a really long-term business.
Wow.
And we're working in one particular on one particular deposit that should last for 10 years. We'll have a small production next year, but we'll ramp that up over 2 to 3 years to full production, and we should last maybe for 15 years altogether between the reserves and resources which we'll work up during the program.
Okay, fantastic. Can you give us an idea about some numbers possibly? Because I'm sure you have done a PEA and all that stuff.
Of course,
so you should know that you make money out of that, right?
We do. And what I would like to say about that is that we'll be the lowest cost producer anywhere, simply because it's such a simple technology. We take the gravels, which have the black sand in them, and some of the minerals in the black sand are platinum, actually platinum metal, and that is washed in a heavy mineral separation process, and we make a mineral sand we take to the laboratory, and then we wash it again to take out the platinum. So it's really simple technology.
Yeah. Can you give us an indication about let's say all-in production costs per ounce?
As it happens, I'm not able to give you exact numbers at the moment for confidentiality reasons, but I will say that even if we only produce at a very low level, it'll still be profitable, simply because our production costs should be down around $400 to $450 an ounce. And as you know, even with the appalling platinum prices we see today of $850 or so, that's still a nice margin.
Absolutely nice margin, that's for sure. How does it work then in Russia? Let's assume you start production, you make money. Are you allowed to bring the money out of the country?
Oh, yes, that's never changed.
That's all no problem?
Yes. Although in our case, the reason we like this project and why we're fast-tracking it is that it'll give us cash to do our other projects, which are, if you like, bigger and will provide longer-term stability for the company. Instead of having to dilute shareholders' interest all the time by issuing new equity, we'll at least be able to provide cash from another source, i.e. our mine.
Yeah, well, that makes really sense. Where are your other projects located?
The second project, which we've been working on for some time, is in the Kola Peninsula, which is just across the border from Finland, and centered around a local city of Monchegorsk, where there is a nickel-copper refinery. So there's excellent infrastructure, rail, power, roads, and so on, and a town of 50,000 people. So our license is literally 5 kilometers away, out on a little hill beside the city.
You can do it with a conveyor belt. Pipeline.
And basically, we have been working on this project for some time. We've found some really exciting results, or we believe are exciting. Some bonanza-type grades of palladium up to 90 grams per ton. There's also a more consistent 1 to 2 gram per ton deposit, which will form the core of the development. But at the same time, these high-grade zones are very exciting. We're exploring those at the moment. We hope to be ready to file what they call a discovery certificate in the first quarter of next year, and then that is the first step in getting a mining license.
Okay, fantastic. Let's come once back to your production, because what I forgot to ask you, how do you finance it? Because
Well,
we have a tough
this is
environment.
we do. Because it's alluvial, again, we don't have, there's not a lot of buildings to be built.
Yeah.
In fact, all the equipment is mobile, which means it's bulldozers, front-end loaders, and then the washing plant itself.
Yeah.
So in terms of kit, you know, to use the colloquial term, basically that could all, at the worst case, be rented. All right.
Okay.
So in a way, we could get
all
away.
easy.
I don't want to do this, by the way, but I'm just saying it's possible.
Okay.
So the options are quite broad for the moment. You know, you can rent, you can lease, you can purchase, you can even joint venture with an existing alluvial producer. You know,
fantastic.
so there's a lot of possibilities. But clearly, we'd like it to be the first step in developing the 3-year full production scheme. That's what we're working for.
Okay, super. Last question, because I think this is very important for our viewers, but also for the shareholders. What is cash in the company? Are you safe, let's say, to go the step to the production? For sure, you need some more money, but the point is, what is the status now?
We believe we've got one of the lowest cash burn rates in our industry because we've been very careful. All our staff are Russian, other than 2 or 3 people here in London in the office. The office is tiny. We don't need a big office for the moment, and so we do our best to keep the overheads low. And as well as that, the Mancha Tundra project that I mentioned, the one in Kola, we may very well look at joint venturing that for cash to avoid ever having to bother the shareholders again. But of course, that's in this market, we can only be idealists. Let's hope it all goes well.
Absolutely. Great. Then let's keep fingers crossed it all works, and thank you very much for the insight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was Christian Schaffalitzky, the Managing Director of Eurasia Minerals. And you heard it, they have an alluvial platinum project in Russia, which is also to me quite new, because I know only gold alluvial in Canada. But it seems like that they will go in production next year by July, I think you said.
That's right.
And also they don't need a lot of money because they can lease, rent, etc., all the equipment, and alluvial, you don't need a lot of buildings or process plants. And for that side, Russia is still an interesting country, that's for sure. And even beside the restrictions the European Union put on, but they have to do also their business there, and looks quite positive. Check out the company. Thanks and bye-bye from London.